Hi, my name is Jonathan, and this is a vlog about my opinions on Islam. I have totally not rehearsed for this video, and I haven't even brainstormed in my head what I'm about to say. So, I'm not sure how this vlog is going to go, The first I want to say that I myself am a very progressive person. I'm very open-minded. So I'm kind of implying that I am going to say something negative about Islam. But I'm a very open-minded and progressive person, and I'm an Eastern Orthodox Christian, which means I accept people of all religions. In other words, I don't believe only Christians are going to heaven. I believe people of all religions are going to heaven. So good Muslims and even bad Muslims are going to heaven. Good Muslims, bad Muslims will be in heaven. Kind of pad the effect of my saying bad things about Islam. And I have a high respect for Islam. I have many of my best friends are Muslims. Like, I've been to the Middle East 4 times. I got my undergrad in Middle East Studies, and I've studied Islam in depth. So I have a deep knowledge about Islam. And also, I want to say that I'm a little bit fearful that a fucking redneck is going to see my video and give me a pat on the back, which I don't want, okay? Because I personally want Americans to have a high respect for Muslims, to love Muslims, because I'm so fucking tired of, this war on terror where Americans feel like in their consciousness they have to attack Islam. I want Americans to have a high respect for Muslims, for Islam. And so, first I want to say, there are many things to respect about Islam. Like me, I've gone into many mosques before, and I love how mosques, architecturally, it's just one floor. Just the whole open floor, open field of the mosque, how that gives the meaning of all people are one. Everyone is together. Rich or poor, black or white, everyone. It's an egalitarian religion. I really have a respect for that in Islam. Everyone is the same. When they pray together, it doesn't matter what your status, race, or beliefs are, you're one. Everyone is united. So that's something I highly respect about Islam. Everyone's united. And there's not as much division in Islam compared to Christianity. Christianity is divided into literally thousands of sects and denominations. Muslims are united. They all pray. All of them pray 5 times a day. All of them are united, and there are 5 tenets. The 5 pillars of Islam is all the same. And that unites Muslims together. And that's more than 1 billion people that are united in that facet. So I highly respect that. And another thing I respect about Islam is its simplicity. Okay, God is one. The Shahada. Not just that. That's no art within Islam, though I have a high respect for art, and that's one reason why I am a convert to Eastern Orthodoxy, is because of the significance of beauty and spirituality. Art, visual art, performing arts. But still, at the same time, though I love art, the simplicity of not having art within Islam, and not just art, but just the simplicity of this theology, God is one. As an example, I love the simplicity. Simplicity is beautiful within Islam. And I love how Muslims worldwide are less the hypocrite than Christians around the world. Okay, Muslims are faithful with praying to God. Muslims are more faithful to God than Christians are. Christians around the world are hypocrites. Okay, Christians. And it doesn't matter if they're a good Christian or a bad Christian. Christians have affairs, okay? They have sex outside of marriage, whereas most Muslims don't, okay? As my perspective, most Muslims are faithful to their wives. Most Muslims have a higher respect for sex than Christians do. That is my belief, okay? And so Muslims they're just more committed to God. I would say Muslims love God. Muslims love God more than Christians do. Even though I've heard some Muslims, particularly fanatical Muslims, who would say that it is a sin to say that Allah loves you. I've had a few Muslim friends that say that. You can't say God loves you because God doesn't share in the human emotions of love, which I know that's the Islamic understanding, but the Christian understanding of love is that it goes beyond any sexual connotation for love. You know, God is love. That's what we as Eastern Orthodox Christians say. God is love. But anyway, where was I going off of that? Muslims are just more faithful to God. Muslims are they're more pure people. Okay, in every meaning of in every sense of the meaning of the word pure, Muslims are more pure than Christians. And I could go on and on about the good things about Islam, okay? I'm rambling right now, okay, so I can't exactly remember everything because I've studied Islam in depth, okay? But okay, the reason I'm making this video is because the fact that the Quran says certain people should be killed, that to me is an open invitation to make this video. Okay, I would otherwise not be making this video if the Quran didn't say Christians and Jews should be killed, if the Quran didn't say people who convert from Islam to Christianity or Islam to another religion should be killed. If the Quran didn't say that, I would not be making this video. If the majority of Muslims in the world didn't say if you denigrate the Prophet Muhammad, you should be killed, if Muslims didn't say that, I would not be making this video right now. I'm for real, because I want Americans to have a high value for Islam. I want Americans to have a high respect for Islam. Okay, so let me get into the bad stuff, because I've studied Islam in depth. The Quran, the proper understanding of the Quran is divided into two sections. Before surahs, or chapters that are written before the Hijrah, before Muhammad went from Medina to Mecca, to conquer Mecca and just to conquer the whole world for Islam, because that was the whole purpose. This whole implication of Muhammad going from Medina to Mecca is not just conquering Mecca, but conquering the whole world for Islam by the sword. Okay? Surahs before the Hijrah and surahs after the Hijrah. Surahs before the Hijrah talk about peace, peace with the whole world, peace with Christians and Jews, peace with the people of the book, no compulsion within religion. That's before the Hijrah. And just about love and peace. These are surahs before the Hijrah. Okay? And this is not just my opinion. People who are trained in Islamic theology at Al-Azhar University will tell you this, because I've been to Egypt, I've been to Al-Azhar University. They teach this, the largest Islamic university in the world. Abrogation. Remember that word. Abrogation. In other words, surahs after the Hijrah have canceled out, they've completely canceled out all those nice surahs in the Quran about peace, love, and all those good, nice, warmy, fuzzy feelings about God, Allah, and religion. Those have been canceled out with surahs after the Hijrah. Okay? The surahs after the Hijrah talk about Muslims have to kill a Muslim that converts from Christianity, or that converts from Islam to Christianity. A Muslim that leaves the faith of Islam has to be killed. Okay? Surahs after the Hijrah in the Quran also talk about slaughtering the people of the book, Christians and Jews. And that's commanded. Muslims are commanded, according to the Quran, of killing Christians and Jews. That's the whole message of the Quran, you know? So I will say, even though I'm a progressive person, that Islam fundamentally is a religion of, of violence. It's a religion of violence. It's based on the sword. It's not a religion of peace, as we understand peace. So that is not a religion that any people should follow. This concept of God authorizing the killing of innocent people of another faith. And so that's the true understanding of Islam, is that that God requires women who've been raped to be stoned. That is a requirement within Islam. Women requires women to wear the hijab, to wear a head covering, which I do have respect for, because if women choose to wear the hijab because they want to be protected from some belief that men are just, hormone, sex addicted, that they just have to look at a woman the wrong way. Okay? Which not all men are like that. Okay. So I have a respect for that. You want to wear the hijab because you have a respect for yourself. I respect that. But if a woman does not want to wear the hijab, a woman wants to have the freedom of showing their hair, showing their head, showing any of their body. If a woman wants to show her body naked, a woman has the right to do that without fear of male oppression. A woman doesn't need to succumb. A woman doesn't need to submit to this false notion of men being sex addicted. Okay, so women have the right to be naked, as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, that's an example of the suppression of women within Islam. Okay? I don't know where I'm going with this, but okay. So anyway, you Muslims, if a Muslim's watching this, you have made an open invitation to me that you want to kill me because I am criticizing Islam. So here I am. Okay, I'm criticizing Islam. Open invitation. You want to kill me for defaming, for criticizing your religion, then go ahead. Okay, because I have the freedom in Christ Jesus that I will live forever, no matter what. I'm going to go to heaven if you kill me. Okay, I've heard many Muslims say, well, Jesus said, I've come not to bring peace, but to bring a sword. I've heard Muslims say that. And Muslims think that supports their right to kill people. But, when Jesus Christ said, I've come to bring a sword and not peace, Jesus meant the sword is at our necks. In other words, Muslims around the world are killing Christians in their countries. Muslims are torturing and killing Muslims who've converted to Christianity. Muslims are killing Christians, like in Egypt, Muslims are killing Coptic Christians. Muslims are killing Christians in Pakistan. Everywhere, every single Muslim country, Muslims are slaughtering Christians. And that is the understanding of why Jesus said, I've come to bring a sword. Because the sword is at our necks. We're not the ones holding the sword. You guys are the ones holding the sword. Okay? So that's the understanding of what Jesus meant. So in other words, okay, and I want to give a shout out in support of Christians converting to Islam. I fully support that. I've met Christians who have converted to Islam, and I have high respect for that. And Christians, if a Christian is watching this video, you have the freedom to convert to Islam. And I will totally support that. Okay? And at the same time, if you are a Muslim who wants to convert to Christianity, I say I totally support that. I totally support global freedom of religion. Freedom of religion means you have the right to convert to another religion. Okay? So again, I want to tell Muslims, you have the right to convert to Christianity, and Muslims, you don't even have the right to say an unkind word to a Muslim who converts to Christianity. Okay? So don't kill them, okay? Don't kill Muslims who convert to Christianity. Okay, what am I saying? Okay, so yeah, in the end, Islam is a religion of violence. And that's what the Quran says. And just this understanding of that God, Allah, only speaks Arabic. So you can only read the Quran in Arabic. That is so ridiculous. Okay? I've read the Quran twice. The second time I read the Quran, I tried to read it in Arabic. But the Arabic in the Quran was so archaic, I couldn't understand it. But even the old Arabic within the Quran says the same thing. If a Muslim converts to another religion, if a Muslim leaves Islam, they have to be killed. And the surahs after the Hijrah say Muslims need to kill Christians and Jews, people in the book. And so that's the message of the Quran, and that's your religion. And you just have to accept that, understand that, and try to deal. You don't have to, I'm not asking you to leave your religion. I'm just asking you to maybe reform Islam, reform religion, so that I don't know. That's the truth about Islam, killing people. And so, yeah, Muhammad, I want to say again something about Muhammad. Okay, here I come, Muhammad. The Christians, I do want to say that Muhammad was a good man. Muhammad treated his brothers with just like the utmost compassion. The people of Islam, the people that were his brothers, brothers and sisters of Islam. He was a very generous person. Muhammad, from what I read in Hadith, which was very generous. Okay, Muhammad was a very generous person, and he was kind-hearted. He did love children. Okay, I'll get to that in a second. But Muhammad was compassionate towards the elderly. Muhammad was compassionate towards the poor. Muhammad had a deep love for the poor. He sought to apply justice for the poor worldwide. That was one of Muhammad's goals, was for the poor to receive justice around the world, to stop the oppression of the poor from the rich around the world. Muhammad did indeed have a respect for women. Okay, Muhammad did indeed seek to free women from the oppression of misogyny, the oppression from a male-dominated society. Okay, I'll be honest, Muhammad did have those goals, but that went a different direction. Okay, because Muhammad was human, he was not a prophet. Okay, I will say that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, which according to Islam is the greatest sin in the whole world. A Muslim will say that my belief that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, that is worse than raping and killing children. Okay, according to Islam, that's worse than that. My belief in Jesus Christ is the Son of God. Okay, I will say Jesus Christ is the Son of God, but I will say Muhammad is not a prophet of God. He was only human. Okay, and Muhammad, in the end, Muhammad was pedophile. Okay, Muhammad fell in love with a 6-year-old girl, and Muhammad proposed to her when she was 6 years old, and Muhammad had sex with a 9-year-old girl. And Muhammad was out of control with his sex life. Not just that one girl, Aisha, but all other, like lots of other underage girls Muhammad had sex with. Okay, so Muhammad was a pedophile. Okay, to say that. And Muhammad was a man of violence. Muhammad, in the end, though I do say Muhammad had a respect for justice, in the end, when all is said and done, Muhammad showed no respect for justice. Okay? Muhammad killed probably up to thousands of people, innocent people. Muhammad killed innocent people, thousands of innocent people, and Muhammad just established a religion of violence. Muhammad established just this whole spirit of violence among millions and billions of people around the world. So in the end, Muhammad was not a prophet of God. Muhammad was a pedophile, and Muhammad, he supported violence. He commanded people to kill innocent people. Muhammad commanded not just Christians and Jews, people not of Islam, but Muhammad also commanded people to Muslims to kill Muslims, to kill other Muslims, if it would achieve the purpose of a world dominated by Islam. Okay? Muhammad commanded, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Muhammad would be glad with Osama bin Laden commanding flying planes to the World Trade Center, even if Muslims were in that World Trade Center, which they were. Because that would mean gaining a world that's dominated by Islam. Okay, killing other Muslims, lying, because Muslims are commanded to lie to non-Muslims if it means achieving a world dominated by Islam. Muhammad commanded lying. Muhammad commanded violence in the name of Islam, so the whole world would be just dominated by Islam. So, evil religion, we'll say that. I'll end with that. Again, I will say, because I don't want some redneck watching my video, that Muslims are better than Christians, okay? In the end, Muslims are better than Christians. Muslims are fantastic people. Muslims are more loving than Christians. Muslims have a deeper love for God than Muslims, and the majority of Muslims are not violent. The majority of Muslims want to live a peaceful life like everybody else. The majority of Muslims are human, just like me. Okay? And I will say in the end of this video that though I go to Divine Liturgy and take the Eucharist every Sunday, I am Eastern Orthodox, I am not afraid to say that I too am a Muslim. I identify with Muslims, and I still don't know much about Islam, and I'm willing to learn more about Islam, and I embrace my Muslim friends, though I may have offended you. But watch my other videos, because Muslims aren't the only ones that I offend. So I love Muslims, and this video's been long enough, so I'll stop here. Alright, I love you.